On this episode of Star Trek Universe, Effie and I enter a soulless society. It has no spirit, no spark. All is indeed peace and tranquility. The peace of the factory, the tranquility of the machine. All parts working in unison. You too will be absorbed. Your individuality will merge into the unity of good, and in your submergence into the common being of the body, you will find contentment, fulfillment. You will experience the absolute good, or at the very least, our review of Star Trek 123, The Return of the Archons, after these words from our mystery lawgivers. Welcome in to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where, well, this version of the podcast is me, your host, David C. Roberson. I've watched all the treks, many times.
And I am Effie Ophelders, and I have not seen any of this until I have, which is when we record after the episode. Peace to you, my friend.
Peace and tranquility.
Yes, indeed.
Are you of the body?
I am. Are you content, my friend?
Yeah. So, Memory Alpha synopsis: the Enterprise discovers a planet where the population act like zombies and obey the will of their unseen ruler, Landru.
It is a fun name. Yeah,
it is.
They did well on that. It's also a shame for the actor because he had to show up like twice and then just kind of not do much else.
Yeah, and his hair totally stole the show.
Oh, absolutely! It's a look.
It is,
and the costume as well. Like it's
it's fabulous.
It's budget Grandmaster from the MCU type stuff. Yeah, he has that vibe.
No, you know what I thought?
Give him his stripe on the chin, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, some more gold. Some.
I was thinking Stanley Tucci from The Hunger Games.
Fair. I feel like The Hunger Games and the Grandmaster have very similar aesthetics too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all of The Hunger Games though, so.
I mean, I officially
gotta catch
haven't
up on that
because they put out another one or something.
Yeah, the new one, but that's a prequel. Yeah. That's like an offshoot. There's no Katniss.
Well, I saw all the Katniss ones.
Fair enough. See, that's more than I did. I think I saw the first one and a bit of the second one, and I need to finish that up at some point so I can join in on conversations about how the books are so much better because they really, the Hollywood mainstream shit made it so much worse, and that's something I can see, which is ironic because of all the thematic stuff in there about the media and you know, make it about the love triangle and all that. So it's a fun I'd say a fun example of or it's a case study really of what we fuck up as a society. It's not what we're discussing here, though. So
no,
really,
we're
I'm
talking about.
How did we get on Hunger Games?
No, yeah. I'm not sure. Oh, Landru's fabulous costume.
Yes.
He's
got style.
He does
more than the rest of his entire society, really.
Well, that might be by design.
Probably. It's a different kind of style, though. I do enjoy the like the suits and dresses in a like nostalgic sense. If you forget everything that was wrong with society at that point in time, it is classy.
I imagine him saying, "No, only I shall be fabulous."
Pretty much. I feel like that's accurate to his character, and we shall headcanon this
a little bit
filed away into our minds. This is how it works.
Right. So yeah, man, I want to know. Like, I like this episode. It's not one of my favorites, but it is definitely not one of my least favorites. It's just mostly solid episode.
Yeah, we're back into solid territory for me too. It starts off a little different than it ends up, if that makes sense. Like there's a bit of a disconnect, but it ends up in a better place, I think, than where it starts off, which is just seems to be the formula of let's create a bunch of confusion, not answer most of that, and then have a resolution that deals with the problem that we turned it into.
Yeah. I feel like I wanted to know more about the Purge or the Red Hour.
The festival. Like whatever the festival is. How often do they do this? Because if this is a nightly occurrence, boy, there's a lot of cleanup during the day, so it shouldn't be. But because people come from the valley, supposedly, so it can't be too often. But also, apparently, it's necessary to let them live out some of those urges and, rape and loot to offset the peace and tranquility, which they don't really delve into, but it's an interesting thesis to begin with, to just say, okay, so there's no humanity because it's too peaceful and mechanical, but that's untenable because they're human beings, so go fuck yourself. Sometimes they need to just let loose and screw over an entire town. And I had to laugh every time someone threw a woman over their shoulder and ran away with her, which is just such a cliche image. And it's terrible, but it doesn't stop being funny. Because it's so absurd. It's very much the man jumps out of bush and rapes you thing, which is like, yeah, it happens, but not that often and not like that. But apparently this society is really just anticipating that.
I look, I don't know this because I was planning on raping anybody, but bushes aren't comfortable to go into.
You make a solid
come
point.
Out of. They hurt.
Right.
I don't like
You're
bushes.
just bleeding and leaving DNA all over the place where you stole someone. Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's a bad way to kidnap someone.
It's a bad way to do anything. You never go through a bush.
Yeah, no, like if you like drop a ball in there and you're like, God damn it, I want to keep playing soccer. you go to a store and you buy a new ball. That's pretty much it. You were thinking of different balls, weren't you?
No, I was legitimately shocked that you, who have so ardently rejected most everything that you talk about as being things little boys do, like you never, and then you and I are both pretty anti-sports. It was just such a strange, like, no, why would you go to a ball?
Because there were prickly bushes near my house, near the playground, and I had a little brother who did play soccer a lot over there. So I was more so picturing him than me actually giving a shit about that ball.
Right. Okay.
I hope that explains
curious.
some. Yeah, no, I get that. Sports ball is not my preferred form of entertainment.
No.
Which should be evident from the fact that I am on a Star Trek podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I liked throwing a ball around, I liked, hitting a ball with a bat. I just didn't like all the rules of the game. Like, that was always my thing. Like, I loved playing basketball, but I hated the rules.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just let me throw the thing in there.
Yeah, same thing with baseball, softball, football, and bowling and billiards. I just like playing with balls. I just like playing with my balls.
Like, I cannot for the life of me differentiate between pool and billiards and snooker and like well, I know snooker is the solo thing, but other than that, I just want someone to stand next to me, tell me, hit this ball against that ball, make sure that ball goes into the hole, and I'll try and do it. That's all. That's all you can ask of me.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, no, like, let's not even get into American football because Lord knows I don't understand those rules. It's as much of a mystery to me as cricket would be to any of you, and cricket also remains a mystery to me. It's both are just, why does it take so long? What the fuck are you all doing? Also, why are there so many numbers on the screen? I've been in American bars where there was sports on, and I was like, this must be a very interesting hobby for people who grew up in this. And I suppose that goes for a lot of things, but somehow I caught up quicker on the comic shit than I did on any of the red-blooded American masculine shit.
Yeah. See, appropriately, I just wanted to play, and I didn't want to have to follow rules, and that just sounds like my entire life, doesn't it? So,
Yeah, that sounds right, and like good for you. Fuck the rules.
I guess so.
And also, fuck running. Why? I just want to hit the ball and let someone else run those four corners. It's fine.
Here's the thing, and I agree with you. Fuck running, but especially with a ball between your legs, like soccer, or your football, I suppose, is basically just an exercise in me trying to trip myself.
Right. Yeah. I can imagine it is an acquired skill.
Yeah.
And an acquired taste, but
I am not good at it.
My little brother still does it. He's great at it, but it's just I don't care. I do have the coordination because I'm a dancer, so like I know what to do technically with my feet. I can follow instructions. I prefer doing the steps without the ball being there because I don't want to kick a ball. I just want to dance. Just let me dance.
By the way, I really like how we saved I think the biggest divergence we've had so far in conversation for an episode we both said we liked before we started
absolutely.
recording.
Like instead of actually talking about something that's interesting, yeah. No. Bad episodes are conversation killers. Good episodes have enough thematic stuff in us for us to just get sidetracked by sports.
Yeah.
I don't remember entirely why sports related to this episode.
I don't either.
But that's fine. There's a festival. They need to let out some energy, you know.
Yeah. Then they never explained why the festival takes place. They never said how frequently it happened. But James Blish did a write-up of the episode in the book Star Trek IX, which was largely based on those scripts, the unedited scripts. So he would write these novelizations, and as I think his name was Reger, was telling Tula...
Yeah, not quite Roger, that guy.
Yeah. The girl, she was screaming and crying after the festival, and he consoles her and he says, "It's over for another year." So it really is, I think, like a purge situation. Like, they shut off their brains. Or maybe, like, the brain couldn't handle being telepathically controlled for all time. So they had to come up with, like, oh, well, here's the day that Red Hour hits. And they're, like, finally released. And they all just go crazy and do all the shit they've been dying to do. Like, it's driven them mad.
That makes as much sense as anything. I am also still hung up on telepathetically, but that's
telepathetically,
telepathetically. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Give me another edit point, jackass.
We both know you're going to jot that down and then forget about it.
Damn it. Now I'm like I'm all paranoid looking over at my notebook to see if I didn't cut out something from the last episode. I'm like, oh God, what was that?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I once made the mistake of pointing out to you that you forgot to edit something out, and then I never do that again because, like, even if I hear it again on another episode, I'm like, you don't want to deal with the guilt. You don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't. Except I forgot about it until you just said it. Now it would be... I'm sorry again. Damn it.
Sorry to bring down the whole room.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Basically, the last time you were like, hey, you didn't cut this out, and you said you were going to, I felt extreme guilt for about 3 minutes before I entirely forgot that it was even a thing until just now.
I mean, they felt like a long 3 minutes to me where I was like, no, it's not a big deal. Honey, we're just doing a podcast. Come on. Oh. Yeah. But, glad to know that you instantly also got over it. That's good.
Yeah, I'm a little weird these days. So anyway. All right, so I don't know. I see people...
Oh, I wanted to mention there is a weird thing about the rules. Because you're supposed to... Like, you're of the body. You're supposed to participate. You should be out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's this, oh no, I want to keep my daughter inside. Like, is that allowed or is that him already being a rebel?
I don't think it's him already being a rebel. And notice that Tula does not. She's not okay with this. Like, she's like everybody else after everything happens. She does not just like snap out of it like they do and just go about their, or snap into it like they do and go back to their like monotone lives. Like, she's screaming and crying and she's deeply affected by it. And
she's not of the body.
She may not be, and it would make sense that she wasn't if she pretended to be, and then the Red Hour happened. But she also might be immune to it because Reager was.
Right. There's no explanation for why there is an immunity, right?
No, except that some people are just immune to it and it doesn't work.
Fair enough.
But also keep in mind that, and it's yet another one of those things, is part of the plot that I think is really interesting and they don't touch on a lot. Like, they're going in search of an old Starfleet ship, the Archon.
Yeah, and that's like mentioned in just a line at the beginning of the captain's log. Mm-hmm. Because when I get the opening scene, that was a thing that also kind of threw me. Like the opening scene with Sulu and O'Neill, it's they're just someplace, somewhere, doing something. Mm-hmm. Fine. But then the why doesn't come until like that one line that I had to quickly rewind for in the captain's log, because it was like, wait, what? Oh, that's the mission's goal. I should probably know this. Yeah. Because it's easy to just like forget about that and then not understand the title or why they're talking about Archons and what those are. Mm-hmm. Though it makes a lot of sense if you're just like, oh, previous people from previous Starfleet ship. Sure, cool.
Yeah. But clearly these people know that, like, the Archons came, the Archons meshed with their society. Kind of seems like, I don't know. I don't know what the background really would be. And it feels like maybe the Archons came there and then like got absorbed by Landru.
Yeah. Either assimilated or put down, like probably a combination of both. Or was that before? Maybe they didn't have the "or will kill you" programming yet, because that didn't happen until this episode.
Yeah.
So they probably just got absorbed like Sulu at first, but just the entire ship. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also
just fell for the come down. It's fun down here. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also just a slight bit like I keep conflating kind of the same story, because as you'll recall, at some point there's an offshoot universe that results in the J.J. Abrams timeline.
Sure.
Star Trek.
I've heard of those movies. Yeah.
You saw the first one, didn't you?
I saw the first two, I think, but it's been years, so I remember very little.
That's okay, because
it is.
that's an alternate reality.
Exactly.
But they both exist in the same multiverse. Mm-hmm. And we know that at this point in current Star Trek. So here's a cool thing. IDW, the comic book label, has the Star Trek license, and for years they did a series of monthly comic books that was the J.J. Abrams Kelvinverse, Kirk, Spock, etc.
Yeah.
Going on different versions of the original series episodes.
Oh, that's very cool. That's a fun idea. That's just, we'll take this story, we'll twist it. That's fun. Yeah.
And in their, if I remember correctly,
within constraints.
In their version of Return of the Archons, they went there and the Archon crew they crashed, they merged with this other society, but the Landru shit didn't happen until afterward. Oh. Because
so they were also an influence on that technological advancement.
Well, and I think in that version of the story, Landru was a Starfleet scientist and had designs on trying to, take individuality away in exchange for peace and all that shit. So, like, when Kirk and crew find the Landru computer or whatever, it's literally the freaking ship, the Archon, sticking out of like a mountain or some shit. It's something crazy like that.
Something you can do more easily in a comic book, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was also like a situation where like Starfleet was in on it, so they were really pissed at Kirk. You know, like they were like, you know, this was an experiment, jackass.
We sanctioned this, motherfucker. I don't care about your whole ethical superiority, morality complex. Like, go fuck yourself.
If someone out there wants to correct me,
I'm sure they already have.
Yeah.
By now, I'm sure you have an inbox full of corrections.
No one gives a shit what I say on this show. Hey,
that's fair.
So, anyway, back to this version of Return of the Archons.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that it occurred to me that like back in the 60s, in the late 60s, is when a lot of, you know, alternative religions started happening, a lot of cults.
Some communes that are less than cults.
Yeah.
Lots of cults.
Yeah. I did feel like this episode was an attack on a very specific kind of communism. It felt like it was an attack on, you know, cult behavior. And, but also...
I'm sure at that time the U.S. was very intent on, you know, merging those two concepts, like communism and cultish communes, same shit. Yeah.
Well, there are variations of communism, and that's one of them. But honestly, like, it was also a massive attack on religion in general.
Fair, yeah. For its time, this is like the hoods and everything. There's a clear parallel to like clergy that is in there.
Oh, just in the language, like Gene was an atheist and he was a humanist, and he was very not down with religion.
as most atheists start out, it's like, now I'm a militant atheist. I will take my religious dogma and flip it.
Yeah, and you know, being raised in the very Baptist Christian South.
Oh God, no, Baptists are a fun subsection.
Man, I'm watching this episode, and I'm hearing a lot of familiar stuff.
I can imagine.
So here's a thing I found. Corinthians 12 through 14. Listen, check this out. Tell me if this doesn't sound like what we just watched. For as the body is one, and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Christ. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. Okay.
Damn. Yeah, there's a parallel there.
Yeah.
I'm glad you grabbed your Bible to check this. Jesus. Yeah.
You know, instead of the will of the Lord, they say the will of Landru. They even refer
it's
to...
It's very easy to replace any sort of name for God with a godlike figure. Yeah.
Yeah. But they are like specifically hitting upon like Christian buzzwords and like terminology. Like they're talking about like the will of Landru. They're talking about, you know, the word when they're referring to the law, you know?
Yeah.
And they even had like the old like Baptist guy essentially yelling at Reader, being like, "Do you say that Landru is not everywhere?" It's like, oh yeah.
He mocked him. It was the accusation itself was so. Oh God. It was very much one of those.
He is not of the body.
Yeah, no, it's religious nuts that are just there was that I forgot his name, but like that one guy is absolutely just the epitome of like, how dare you be so blasphemous in my presence, and I will go get a lawmaker and have him kill you, and like that's righteous for some reason.
Yeah.
Because peace and tranquility.
But, you know, I guess they did have a mention, though, that the old ones are excused from the festival because, you know, they're old.
Yeah, they can't rape anymore. It's just the women will beat them. That will be sad. No one wants that.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like everyone's just like, you know, yay, forcible sex. Like it does.
No, that
like some of these women just want to like destroy shit and steal.
Yeah, good for them. Like, yeah, Because that's why I laugh
Burn
at
things.
the like throw them over the shoulder thing, because it
Yeah.
is such a like. There's no way the women now have lusts that they want to act upon. No. That would, if it was just a wild orgy in the street, we couldn't show that. But kidnapping, totally fine.
Yeah, well, I will point out that that one lady that was necking with that dude. The dude was
Fair.
like all up on her neck, and she had a big old grin plastered on that face.
Yeah, true. That's the exception. Those were just clearly consensual couples. That's entirely fine.
Yeah.
Maybe it was adultery, though. Maybe they were both married in
I
the
hope.
peace and tranquility of the body.
Oh, I figure if there's zombies and they're at peace, then none of them are married.
Maybe I mean, just by maybe they're just roommates. Then maybe they're like they have to be housed together in some way. I'm sure, because there are families, and he has a daughter, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing there is some sense of procreation and
Dude, honestly,
I'm sure that's confined within monogamy.
honestly, like I was
It's
just
the
kind of
'60s. They didn't like.
I was
know,
just
but still.
joking, but God, now I really want I want that show. Like,
How does this fucking society work on this planet?
yeah, how does what was the Beta 3? Was that it?
Sure.
Whatever. Like, I want a drawn out drama, like Handmaid's Tale, but with like nobody can remember shit, and everyone's just like, "Hello, friends."
We
I'm a
don't
creepy
remember
bastard.
who programmed this shit, but we're all doing it.
Yeah, like, well, they all know it was Landrew.
Yeah.
Or that one
Whoever that is.
specific time, Kirk, after saying Landrew like 12 times, looked dramatically at the camera and goes, Landrew. Like, you said it right the entire rest of the show.
No,
You said
no,
it
no,
a
no.
ton.
It's there's no consistency in the Lord Landrew. He can be pronounced many different ways. It is all one body.
Maybe that's why they say God is good. It's like they're just saying,
It's
like,
just
yeah,
a mispronunciation. They mean God is God, but
Yeah. I think the next time I'm at some sort of family gathering and they're like, oh, let's pray before we eat, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'll do it. Thank you, Landrew. You know, like,
yeah,
I'll piss
for the
them
peace and
off.
tranquility we may all, yeah.
Yes.
Oh Lord,
For we are of the body, and the body is one.
God is God, and you are Landrew, and
when-
thy will be done. Yeah,
And when someone objects, probably my aunt,
I'm sure.
I will be the one who jumps at her, says, are you trying to say that Landrew does not exist everywhere? You're a lot of the body!
Yeah. Like, it would be funnier if she got it, but I'm not sure she would understand the joke you're going for.
Yeah, no. She would just know it was my normal bullshit.
Fair enough. I'm sure your wife would be in tears, though, so that's good.
Yeah. More likely my sister.
Oh, that too. Yeah. No, if she's there.
'Cause-
Yeah.
That girl knows exactly who Landrew is.
Fair enough.
I really like. I think they did I'm sure it was made. This was a decision made based on budget, but I actually think that the sort of late 19th century look was really a cool choice because it really does make it feel more horrific and like more real when the red hour hits and they all just kind of start going crazy. It kind of gives it more of a creepy vibe, like a
Yeah, there's more of a contrast, and at the same
Yeah.
time, it does also accentuate that wholesome Baptist vibe of we are all very decent people here.
yes.
Up until the point that happens.
But also, there's
So
like
it
a
works
really
both ways.
and it for some reason it like enhances the creepy factor the way that like the past really can only do. Like we're not as it's this different creepiness about the future. Like we're like, oh, that's a cool looking doodad, but when you see it like in the past, you're like, oh god, they're more superstitious. It puts you more in that like weird
You immediately
ghostly,
assume
paranormal.
they're up to some weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like,
dig
they
all
don't
that.
know what they believe in, but it must be out of their conception of the
Yeah.
world. Like, their entire frame of reference is off already. So
Yeah.
whatever is, like to them, it seems very much like too advanced of a technology to even understand what would be happening if you tried to explain what Landru was.
But I do like that they were like really super advanced before Landru.
Yeah. Like, it had to get to that certain point. Then Landru had to just take over and somehow reset everything to peace and tranquility without a lot of the technological advancements. Like, there is something in there as well where it's like, okay, so there is no peace and tranquility if you have too much technological shit, which social media could attest to. But it's like, yeah, we're further mechanizing as a society. So, like, does that not escalate things like warfare? Even though this peace is also clearly kept by, war tactics, but that's not far off from how war works here, usually also framed as peacekeeping. So there's it makes a lot of sense, which is why it hits slightly closer to home than another random episode that isn't quite as deep in its world building, I guess.
Yeah. There's just so much they glossed over in this episode. But
That's the thing.
Really
I would like them to do more of this work that I am now doing for them.
Yeah. Like,
that remains that remains a constant within the show, where it's like, oh, this is a very cool idea, and then you ignored it.
yeah, and then I'm like wondering shit like, like did the like whether or not it was like we don't know if there was like it was like super technological, and then Landru, like as I understand it, Landru just uploaded his mind into this computer, but
Sure.
and then decided like, nope, we don't like this. This is too techy. Let's go back to simpler times, and I'll do all the thinkings.
Yeah. I don't want you to develop a machine that's stronger than me. This is where evolution stops.
But when do the Archons hit? When did they come?
Just a while back, and there's no real clarity on that, I don't think.
Because what's interesting to me is the Archons landing might really be the point where he cuts it off and turns it back. And I say that because it would be interesting if Landru, like the machine, Landru connected with the Archon computers and went back to 19th century and said, oh, this is perfect. And that's why they have like a freaking clock that has the same amount of time as we do. And it has, their society looks like,
Yeah, because it is, like, as
19th
usual, they're
century.
very, they're towing that line of, they're humanoid, but they're human, but are they human or alien human? Like,
well, some of them are obviously human.
yeah, exactly. Especially the Archons
Yeah.
that are supposedly, assimilated in there and must have descendants. So that would make sense. But it's like the part of that interesting idea is, of course, the comic book we talked about, where it's like, yeah, if you absorb that technology into your Landru computer, that helps a lot. But also, yeah, the records of Earth would explain a lot about why it looks like Earth, but way back. Because like that's stuff like time systems should differ per planet, or like that's hard to keep universal. So that's a funny thing, not otherwise explainable.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, this makes way more sense. We were doing something with like hundreds of minutes instead of like 60. 60 is perfect. That's a great, wonderful. Yeah. I don't know. It's just you just kind of have to go with most of this. That's the sad thing. But there's a lot to just go delve into and be like, okay, how did this happen? Why does it work this way? I did like the twist of who is the third in the
yes
rebellion formation. Like, there's always three, which is very I don't know, opposite of Sith.
I don't know what you're talking about, but that's funny.
There's always two Sith. There's always three rebels who are in a group. I don't know why. But that's apparently their rule. So we have the Chekhov's gun of like, oh, we'll run into a third.
Yeah.
Of in the cell. And I like that it was that the clearly also religiously dressed guy doing the indoctrination into the body. And I do like I presumed that Kirk was faking it, but you know, it's well written to have that happen first and then reveal it when Spock goes in and it be confirmed that no, I'm not doing shit. You just pretend. You act. You know what they do. They all do the same shit. You've seen it already. It was fun.
Yeah.
So and it was also it was also interesting to have that sort of divide where McCoy was eavesdropping and was part of the body. So there was like, as on a plot level, it just works.
I think this episode really allowed DeForest Kelley to showcase some of his range.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great actor. Like, if you go back before Star Trek, he was often a bad guy. And he was always just a piece of shit, you know? Like,
yeah, that's easy.
Like, guy with long hair, like, I'm a bad guy in a Western, But he did a good job. He's had, like, a presence about him. And that was really on display here. I loved watching DeForest Kelley act. So, I liked... Memory Alpha notes, this episode marks one of 4 times Kirk is able to talk a computer to death.
I'm glad that'll come back. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, you've already seen him talk a couple of androids to death in What Are Little Girls Made Of? So,
yeah. No, this was... I'm not sure I completely... follow the logic, but I guess neither did the computer, so it's fine. We'll go with it.
Yeah.
But it made sense. Like, you got where they wanted to go, at least. That was I'm talking to death. Fair enough. Yeah, it is what happens. Sometimes you gotta out-logic the machine, man. And somehow Kirk does that better than Spock does.
Spock is too logical.
Yeah, he is the machine, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
He is the machine. Yeah. Which,
you gotta have to try to make it compute emotion, I guess.
Yeah. You're going to see different versions of him outsmarting the machines, and some of them are pretty fun.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. You gotta... So I liked a lot of the quotes in this episode. Without freedom of choice, there is no creativity. Without creativity, there is no life. The body dies. The fault is yours. I loved that Spock said, Captain, our prime directive of non-interference. And I think that's the first time they've mentioned that.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, have I heard this before? Maybe.
No. I'm pretty sure this is it. And then Kirk is like, that refers to a living, growing culture. Do you think this is one? And like,
loophole, bitch.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because, like, the first time they bring up the Prime Directive, as often happens in Star Trek, the captain immediately finds a way to get around it. Like, that's bullshit.
It's unethical to do nothing, so fuck you. Rules? Who are they?
Yeah.
I just want to throw the ball into the thingy and fuck your rules.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fuck the running. Can I just hit the ball? Anyway.
And we should point out, though, that the sociologist Lindstrom is remaining behind with a party of experts who will help restore the planet's culture to a, quote, human form.
Mm-hmm.
That's some imperialist shit.
Yeah. But let's suppose they mean like actually creative and
Yeah.
self-actualizing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they always have another team of cultural anthropological people on hand to leave behind whenever a place needs a bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure they did that with the kid planet too in Miri, right? Like
Yeah.
something like
I think
that.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a subplot involving Lindstrom, the sociologist, falling in love with a local girl was cut from the episode's final draft. I feel like there were hints because I think that the girl he was supposed to fall in love with was Tula.
Yeah.
And he
I'm
definitely
sure,
seemed like he was like, but the girl, your daughter, she's out there. Don't you want to help? And, you know.
Yeah, there was some
meet.
concern there, but there was no meat on the bone. It was just we needed a woman, I guess. There was, and I was at first absolutely like, okay, they're gonna couple up, sure.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen, so yeah, it makes sense that it was there, but was cut. Yeah.
Yeah. This episode started out as, according to Memory Alpha, this episode started out as a candidate to be the first Star Trek pilot, alongside the Cage and the Women, aka Mudd's Women. After the former was chosen by NBC, Roddenberry's story idea rested for more than 2 years.
Damn.
I can't imagine this being the pilot.
No, it would be different. I feel like we got lucky on the pilot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still a good one.
Yeah. So according to the trivia section on the video release, the Archons was a club Gene Roddenberry belonged to at school.
Hey guys, I snuck in our name. Cool.
But
that's neat. It's sweet.
Yeah.
I dig that.
But also, Archon comes from like the Greek word that means ruler.
Sure, it also makes narrative sense.
And in the book of Enoch, it talks about 20 Archons ruling the thousands of angels or something. So there's
only one Landru. Oh, yeah. But
Landru. Landru,
sorry,
you say it dramatically.
One Lendru. Lendru.
Or maybe he said it differently because every time he says Landru, the guy's like, no, he'll hear.
Landru.
Landro. As if Landru was sitting there going, that was pretty close to my name. I wonder if they're talking about me. No, probably not.
Must be someone else.
They're probably
with a very similar name.
That fool Jim Landru.
Yeah, they've named some kids after me. It happens in cults.
Right.
There must be a prophecy about the next Landru, so all of the moms are like, this is Landru.
It's Jim Landru.
Mine is Landru. Yeah.
He's a cobbler. He makes cobblers.
Cobbler.
Like Peach. What, you thought I meant shoes?
No.
Don't be ridiculous. Blackberry cobbler. Raspberry
Raspberry Cosby.
Badoo. Landru? No, his name's Quaalude.
How did we get here?
Quaalude Cosby.
Right.
The body is one, and the pudding pop enters all.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if it's all right. I don't have a lot of knowledge on the Cosby shit, so something might be going just over my head, and other people will tell me this was problematic as shit, and I'll take none of the blame, so that'll be fine.
That's fine. You're not to blame.
Yeah. Do we have anything else on this?
Yeah. I thought this was kind of interesting. To ensure the becalmed Beta 3 civilians moved at the same time as each other, pre-recorded drum beats were played on the exterior set, then muted during post-production. That's neat, isn't it?
Intriguing.
This is the first episode where Scotty assumes command of the ship.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was interesting, because I was definitely like, oh, he's the third in command, sure. As an engineer, I'm not sure how that works, but it's fine with me. We need more of him.
Yep. And for your peace of mind...
Him deliberating, very, very fun.
For your peace of mind, in the episode No Small Parts, episode of Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm.
The crew of the USS Cerritos returns to Beta 3 113 years later. So that's going to be a thing.
Okay. Well, looking forward to that in like 4 years.
4.
I am rounding down.
We're like 20 years.
Yeah.
At our pace. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. I think it's really interesting. I like the how anti-religion it is, and
yeah, I'm good with that. And that in and of itself, like you mentioned, is pretty radical for the time. Where it's like, we're not fucking around. We're just we have a problem with this shit, and that's cool.
Yeah. I like that. Basically, Kirk's like, nope, I'm going to destroy your whole society because I like creativity.
Yeah, it's organized around one single dogma. Fuck you. That's not a culture.
Yep. I dig it. And that's all I got.
Fuck yeah.
You got anything else?
I mean, we could probably go on about the imperialism in that, of like the American attitude of like, let's fix your culture because I don't agree with it. But
right.
maybe that's a bit broad. I just thought of it just now, since this is, of course, framed as the story about the hero Kirk, destroying another civilization he doesn't understand. But in this case, I'm fine with it.
No, I think he understands it. That's the problem. I think he does understand.
Yeah.
He's like,
he doesn't recognize too much of it. This is some old timey.
Yeah,
it's very authoritarian after all. So yeah.
No, we're not doing a computer just telepathically making them do things.
Yeah, no, we're not having AI take over society. Thank you, but no.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some imperialism there, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a touch. A smidge.
Yeah, just like a dollop of pre-com.
Might get you pregnant, but the odds are a ton lower, so...
Yeah. Well, thanks
That's
for listening.
not medical advice, by the way. Please do not use this podcast.
Alrighty, so, yeah, Joel on
You forgot the outro?
Yeah,
okay.
I totally did, man. I totally did. Joel on True.
Keep some DC on your screen. Oh, no.
Yeah, I almost did do that.
I know.
Live long and prosper, and of course...
Eat a dick, people.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Roberson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.